Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second Parkrun Primary webinar. We're delighted that you can join us today, and as in previous webinars, please use the chat box to introduce your school, yourself, and also use it for any questions throughout the webinar. Myself and Alice will pick up any questions and be able to answer them, and hopefully at the end of the call we'll have a short slot for a Q&A for anything that is relevant as well to the presentations and the chat throughout. Perfect. Okay, so what will we cover today? We've got an action-packed 45 minutes for you. Starting with an update on Parkrun Primary. We will then have special guests from Sir John Moore C.E Primary School, Swadlincote Junior Parkrun. We'll then have James from London Marathon Events. And we'll finish with Alice from Parkrun's communication team to talk to you about how we can best support you engaging your young people and families. And like I said, we hopefully have some time at the end, and we'll be able to have any questions that you have in the chat about any of our speakers today. So firstly, a warm welcome to all our new Parkrun primary schools that have registered over the last few months. And excitingly, we have hit a milestone with 2,000 registered Parkrun primary schools across the UK and Ireland, all supporting to inspire families and pupils and staff to be active and connected in their local communities through junior parkrun. What we're also seeing is the impact of that already. And with 13% of registrations for parkrun and junior parkrun coming through schools, this is a massive increase. And it is only second to word of mouth in terms of young people hearing about junior parkrun. And even more importantly, registrations through schools are twice as ethnically diverse compared to other registrations, what is showing that schools are really at the heart of communities as well. So I've got a slide with some images from some Parkrun primary partnerships in action over the last few months. And I wanted to showcase some of these with you today. So in the top left-hand corner, we have Yapton C.E Primary and Musebrook Junior Parkrun with their school assembly, with their event team, which is great to see. In the bottom left, we have Whitestone Primary School and their assembly led by their sports ambassadors. It's lovely to see pupils sharing information with other pupils and helping to inspire them as well. In the middle, at the top row, we have Harestock Primary School and Winchester Junior Parkrun with their school assembly, this time run by a parent and a regular park runner to help inspire them and launch their Parkrun Primary initiative. And in the middle, at the bottom, we have Beechwood Primary School and Woodley Junior Parkrun with their junior parkrun ambassadors selected from their Key Stage 2 classes to help encourage their young people there. Top right-hand corner, we have an Attend Together event with Hilden Oak Primary School at their local event, Tunbridge Junior Parkrun. You can see the pupils there in their red and blue hats, sporting their school uniform and really celebrating being a Parkrun primary. And then finally, in the bottom right, we have Harrow Lodge Junior Parkrun. And this was their first Parkrun primary partnership and Attend Together event. And they had 17 new juniors attend for the first time. And you can see a picture there of their first timers briefing, which is amazing to see. So some lovely partnerships there. And this is just a glimpse of the amazing work that's happening between schools and our local junior parkrun events. So I wanted to recap the steps of Parkrun Primary. We've had some questions in over the last few months. So I wanted to highlight some of these because they may be useful for your school as well. So you can see the 4 steps here. And our resources guide you through this journey, providing you with everything you need to become a Parkrun Primary and to complete these steps. One of the questions we had is around step 1 and what you need to do as a school. So in the guidance, we ask you to email your local event team, and we provide a map of all of our junior events so you can locate your nearest event and find their website where they have their email address. From there, you can reach out and introduce your school as a Parkrun Primary and start to build that connection with your local event team. Next question we've had quite a lot is around the assembly templates and communication templates, and asking How do we edit these and add images and information about our school and our local event? So you can edit these. The way to do it is to create your copy of the document. So in the top left-hand corner, click File, Create Copy, and then you have your version of that document where you can make edits to it and tailor it to your event and your school. And then a question that popped up around the Attend Together event. And this is a great way to inspire pupils, also to celebrate being a parkrun primary school. So to do this, please reach out to the event team again and agree on a date with the event team and how that Attend Together event will look as well. Once that date's in the diary, you can start promoting that and using the communication templates to reach out to parents and introduce that Attend Together event and any information they might need. What we would suggest is having multiple messages over a couple of weeks to really get that information across there as well. And then finally, we had a question around creating your parkrun group. So this is an online group where pupils and parents can register their accounts to your school group. There's guidance in this in the toolkit in the additional resources section. And the first step for this is to submit a request for your group to be created. Once you've done that, and that includes the name of your group, the lead contact, and an email address, our team will be able to create that group for you, and they will email you once it's ready and once you can start promoting that to your parents and families. And again, if there is any questions or any additional support that you need, you can contact our Parkrun Primary team on parkrunprimary@parkrun.com for any support there. Finally, last bit from me is I wanted to give you a glimpse of some of the things coming up for Parkrun Primary and lots of exciting things. So firstly, we've got a survey that is going out to schools potentially this week or if not next week to get some feedback on how you found Parkrun Primary so far. What impact has it had? What challenges have you had and what's been successful as well, to give us an understanding, but also allow us to see what resources or what we may need to support you in the future as well. So keep an eye out for that email coming out very soon. And then we've got the TCS Mini London Marathon in schools. That is for the first time. You can take part from February to April, and James is joining us today to give you more information on that. In May, we've got our next newsletter, and we're looking for some lovely stories to share in that. So if you would like your school to be involved in that and showcase your Parkrun Primary partnership, then please get in touch there as well. And then it'll be our final webinar for this academic year in June, and we are planning and looking for some special guests to join us on that as well. And then just a reminder that junior parkrun events continue throughout the summer. They're every single Sunday. And events are there for young people. So please promote this towards the end of the academic year and encourage pupils to stay active throughout that summer. And then lastly, we are looking at what additional resources we can build into the Parkrun Primary toolkit for September. And we've had suggestions around aspects for volunteering, for secondary schools, even for special educational needs schools. So we would love to hear from you, whether that be in the comment section or whether that be via email or the survey, of what would you like to see in the toolkit for September. We want it to be bigger and better, so we would love to hear your ideas from teachers themselves working within the educational sector. Your insight would be valuable for us there as well. Amazing. That is it from me. I'm going to introduce our first guest speaker today, and I'm really excited to have Donna join us from Swadlincote Junior Parkrun, and Donna is the co-event director there. She's done some amazing work with the local schools, and I'm really excited to have her on the call today to share a bit more with you as well. So I'm going to bring Donna on. Here we go. Hiya, Donna. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, guys. Hi, Stephen. Thanks for the invite.
Amazing. It's great to start with just a bit of background about your event and kind of how you got involved in it as well would be amazing.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to switch over to the next slide, Steve? That's how you've done it already. Thank you. Yeah, so we're from Swadlincote Junior Parkrun. Swadlincote is a town, I've put it on the map there, that nobody tends to hear about much. We're a tiny town in South Derbyshire, just a few miles away from the borders of both Staffordshire and Leicestershire. our social economic profile is very mixed. The area itself traditionally had a strong coal mining tradition, so a lot of manual skilled professionals. And what's happened over the last few years, if we tend to have a lot more professionals move into the area, so we are getting a lot more middle income households. However, several of the areas in Swadlincote and around Swadlincote still rank amongst the top 20% most deprived areas nationally. So it is a mixed demographic event. In regards to the families that attend. The event itself started in 2014, and since that time we've had 478 events, which has included 3,597 finishes. I was quite amazed when I looked up those stats. That's quite impressive, really. More so, actually, we've had 1,008 volunteers. We're very proud of our volunteers at Swadlincote Juniors. We have great teams of people who come along of all ages that come and support the event. We've also had 20 Duke of Edinburgh completions over the last 5 years. Again, just supporting those young people in their volunteering journeys. The average time to finish our event is 12:29. Male course record 6:31, super speedy a couple of weeks ago, and the female course record is 8 minutes 11 seconds. Another very speedy attempt, but like I said, the average finish time is 12:29. We are proud of the fact that we encourage people to walk the course. You know, children, it's their park run, their way, and we've just seen numbers sort of grow, really, so it's brilliant.
That's amazing. I really like that, their park run their way. It's really got that's such a nice way. Amazing. How did you first get involved, and kind of what was your kind of passions behind being involved in
well, yeah, in 2017, that was my first ever park run with my daughter, who was 5 at the time, and she'd been asking for months to come along because we'd seen it as we were driving by. And I'd had a younger child at the time as well. And it was one of those things, it was Sunday mornings. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can get off and get you out the house in time. But we made it along and we didn't look back. She had a fantastic time. It was brilliant. It was so well organised. It's only about 30 kids, I think, at the time. But we really loved it. And seeing how much she got out of it made me want to give something back. So I was like, well, actually, I can come along and volunteer. So I started volunteering. My mum started volunteering as well. And then our family sort of grew. So I've now got 4 children. The eldest is 13, the youngest is 4. And parkrun is very much part of our sort of weekly life. Both the Saturday and Sunday events, we attend both. And yeah, and in terms of volunteering journey, I started off doing marshalling, first timers briefings, and then I was asked after lockdown to join the core team, so I decided to go ahead and do that. And then last year our event director stepped down, and so there was the opportunity to take on the role of co-event director. So myself and Sam Screeton are now co-event directors at the event.
Oh, that's lovely. Such a nice way, and I really like it. Really comes across that it's a real family event, and that's such a massive part of a junior parkrun, especially, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's that thing as well, where obviously I've got my family that attend, but actually the wider parkrun community has become quite a family to my family as well. And I think there's a lot in our team who perhaps feel like that. You know, I have a large family on myself. I have 4 children, but we don't have a large extended family. And so parkrun's actually filled in quite a gap in our lives. There's a lot of sort of multi-generational relationships that happen at parkrun, you know, and particularly I'm going to go back to volunteering. At our event, we really like to encourage juniors to volunteer and to get that experience of having that sort of sense of autonomy and being independent, and children tend to really sort of embrace that, and in doing so they're creating friendships with other people, other adults, and it's brilliant.
So good. Thank you, Don. That's great. We'll move a little bit on to kind of parkrun primary and how you've been involved in that, and I'll move you over to the next slide as well. So we'd love to hear a bit more about your involvement and kind of how you've embraced that.
Yeah, sure. So what we did, so it came at the time where we'd just taken over as co-ED, Sam and I, and we were really excited when you, Steve, and your team sort of put out all the information about Parkrun Primary, because just thought, what a brilliant idea. And so what we did within our core team, we're quite lucky, we have quite a large core team. I think there's 12, 13 of us as RDs. And so we asked everybody who would like to be involved in this initiative. And there's a team of 5 of us who were able to sort of do so. And so, yeah, we got together and put our heads together and started a little sort of task group, if you like, and decided what we wanted to do with this. And so we used your sort of assets that you guys had sort of developed. So thanks for that. And started the process of advertising the fact that Parkrun Primary was happening, and for schools to get in contact if they'd like to. So we put that out on social media, and then the contacts would come in from the schools. So then we'd liaise with those teachers, and then once we'd had that initial contact, we'd discuss ways of how the school could increase their engagement with Parkrun. So things like the team or house points system. Perhaps they could reward children who came along for sort of coming along in any form. So if they were going to volunteer or run, they could get sort of house points for their team. They could set individual goals. So maybe they wanted to run in a certain amount of time that day, or maybe they wanted to do so many events over a certain time, a certain distance, and that could be an individual goal or a group goal, or like a whole like school setting. So as a school, did they want to run 50k between now and the summer? You know, something that the school wanted to set up, or the individual pupils themselves. Another thing that we suggested was that they might like to look at it as a fundraising opportunity for that first time, so they could liaise with their PTAs and maybe be sponsored to do that first event, to try and get the kids motivated that way as well. And then after sort of discussing with the lead teacher, we set a date for an assembly, and also the Attend Together event that we recommended would be within a few weeks of that assembly to keep it fresh in people's heads. We also provided schools with a letter that they could edit and send out with information specifically about our event, to make it as easy as possible for parents who obviously weren't at the assembly to get that information, and to go through the process of registration, know like postcodes for the event, you know, just to make it really easy for those parents to get to the event fully prepared. And then recently we've started to encourage attendance in uniform as well. One of our partners had the idea to come along in uniform, and it worked brilliantly. I think actually it was a really good idea. It gave students the sense of being in their school. They were very proud about that, and it was just great for their morale, really. And we did see quite a lot of PBs as well, personal bests, for those children who had been regulars but were now really proud to get their school friends along, and then that seemed to motivate them to run a little bit faster that day as well.
That's brilliant. And there's some lovely photos here of young people enjoying themselves, smiling, and it really, just really brings it together.
Yes.
What kind of impact has it had on your event and your community, in terms of being involved in the Parkrun Primary Olympics and having more school partnerships? How has that impacted?
Oh, do you know, the feeling within our team has been brilliant. It's just so positive. And, you know, it just makes you feel really good. We've had other parkrun events contact us as well, some of the 5K events, just saying like, well done. We've been overwhelmed actually with requests from other schools wanting to be part of it, because they see the schools going up. And I think, again, this thing with their uniform, when we put the pictures up on social media of the schools who've come along in uniform, it sort of triggers other schools to want to get involved as well. Yeah, so it's a brilliant impact, and everyone's talking about it in the community. So when you go out and about, you know, you can hear people talking at the 5K events about what we're doing at the junior events, and you know, the message is getting around that parkrun is a thing. It's on a Sunday morning, because sometimes a lot of people miss it. It's amazing how many people didn't know that we were on. Like I say, we've been going now for nearly 10 years, and yet people didn't know that we were on. And so it's just kind of pushed our profile up a bit, really. It's been brilliant for us.
Yeah, if you're not there in the park between 9 and 9:45, sometimes you miss it. So it's great to build that awareness, isn't it? And there's one particular school partnership that we're going to talk a bit more today, and that is Sir John Moore C.E. Primary School. Now might be a good time to introduce our next guest, and I'm going to introduce Steve Wilkinson, who is the Deputy Head at Sir John Moore. So warm welcome to Steve, who's joining us.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Steve. We would love to know a bit more about your school to start with, Steve, if that's okay.
Okay, our context is we've got 110 children. We're a very rural primary school. We have a bit of an advantage on some other schools in that we're a grade 1 listed building, but that does cause some different problems. Within our school, PE is strong and has been for a long time. Particularly cross-country, as a school, we've been involved in hosting cross-country races for other schools in the partnership. So another 30 schools in our school sports partnership. We've hosted races for them. We're now on our 27th race held at our school for other schools to attend. And that league that we host has about 600 children every year from 30 different primary schools coming to attend. So it's a big thing for us at school with our running. And we see the park run really fitting our school values of climbing to new heights together, using our grit skills. It all comes through running. So when we got the approach from Junior Park Run, we thought this really fits with our ambitions and fits with our school.
That's great to hear. So how did you first hear about it, Steve? I think that might be interesting for schools that understand how you heard about it.
We've got one of our parents, Paul, who, when we host our races, when we host one of the cross-country races, we have 14 different races from reception children up to year 6, and we need hares. So generally, I try and spot any parent who's wearing any running gear and say, we're having a cross-country race on this day, can you come and hare for us? And Paul has done this for several years now, and he decided to get us involved with parkrun, but also try and stitch me up as well. So he approached us and said, would we like to be involved in the parkrun? Yes, we'd love to. He then told all the children that I would be running in the parkrun to get revenge on me. So all our kids wanted to race against me at the parkrun.
There's one way to get them there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And how does it fit with your kind of school health and wellbeing values? How can it support them elements and elements of the curriculum as well, I guess? It would be great to get an understanding of that. Yeah,
well, my hopes were that I wanted to raise the profile of the junior park runs amongst the children at school and the families. I wanted to increase the number of children because we've already got some children taking part. I wanted more taking part. I wanted to increase the levels of activity for all children, but also I wanted them to see the well-being aspect of it. And that was key. From the very start of this, we banned the word race. And if any of our staff talked about the race, they were taken to one side because this is not a race. The race is so far removed from what the junior park run represents for us. Yes, we host races, but this is a run, this is an event, this is well-being. And I wanted the kids to know that you can go for a shuffle, a trot, a run, a sprint, whatever you want to do, as long as you're moving, that's good. And if you're moving and chatting, as we'll talk about in a minute with what we did, it was a well-being aspect that was massively important for us.
Perfect, spot on. It's great to see that messaging coming through the schools as well. So let's move on to kind of what you've done, the assembly. I know you've done some kind of mini events at the school as well. Tell us about how that kind of went. Both Steve and Donna, if there's anything from your side as well. I've got, I think on the next page, I've got some of the assembly images, but I've also got some of the mini events that you've done as well. Yeah.
So from the very start, we covered our school communication with the events that were coming up. So the two biggies for us were we were going to have an assembly, and on the same day, the children were going to have their event, which I'll discuss in a moment. So we flooded our social media, we flooded our school communications, and the messages were coming constantly that this was a big day. And the following Sunday, keep your diary blank. We want to see you at the junior park run at 9 o'clock. So we pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. Then on the day, we had the assembly. The children were whipped up into a frenzy by Donna and Paul and Donna's son, and really got the kids excited, and especially with the idea of you can race against me. Then every class had a slot to take part in our school event, which was Swad Park Run at Sir John Moore. So I set a course up around the front of school. I got some of the older children to help me set it up, and it was a 200-metre lap. The children in each class had time outside the front, and they had 12 minutes, 29 seconds, which is the average time to complete the Swad Park Run. And they chose their level of challenge. They could run for the 12 minutes, 29. They could choose to run a kilometre, which would be 5 laps, 2 kilometres, 10 laps. Can you run, jog, shuffle for the whole time and not stop? Can you set your own challenge? So within that, there was nothing about it being a race, being the first to win or anything like that. Some of the children decided they were going to tell a joke at each corner. So they ran with their run buddy and told each other a joke. Other children were doing a jump at each corner. My gymnast children were doing gymnastic moves at each corner. So that corner's a handstand corner. They were just enjoying it. The staff were also doing it. And some of the staff were saying, well, I can't run. Doesn't matter. And like you alluded to earlier, Donna, it's about doing it your way. So the children trotted, ran, sprinted. They did all sorts. And they enjoyed it. There wasn't the forced aspect of it. Some just wanted to walk and chat. Perfect, because that's what it's all about. Then on the Sunday, we all arrived at, and obviously I put pictures and all stuff over our school's communications. On the Sunday, we all arrive at the Junior Park Run. This is where it all fell apart just a little bit. Because on that day, there was frost and ice. And when I arrived, all excited, it was clear the race was not going to be able to go ahead. Well, the run was not going to go ahead that Sunday. So more and more of our families turned up, and it wasn't the runners. It wasn't the ones who've taken part in the cross-country races. It was mums and children, whole groups of children coming together. We're going to run together. No, you're not, because it's frozen. We're not going to be able to do it. So I had over 20% of the school came to do the run that day. And I think most of them were newbies to doing the Junior Park Run. And I was gutted, but also dead happy that they were annoyed that the run was cancelled, because that meant it meant something to them.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So we said, not a problem. And Donna and Paul said, come next week. It'll be on next week. The weather forecast is great. The problem was that having given parents notice of when it was, a lot of them had cleared that Sunday morning to be able to attend. And then that meant they couldn't come the following week. I know we had a big interest, and the model worked apart from the weather.
Yeah. Have you got future plans? Is there another day that you guys are looking at? Because I think you're right, there's the impact of the weather. I think it would be great to know what the kind of next steps are for your partnership as well.
My plan that I've discussed with Paul, and we've got another window of opportunity. So many of the parents were going, this is brilliant, we'd love to do it, but we do football on a Sunday morning. We've got rugby on a Sunday morning. There's a little window when the football season and the rugby season ends before something else goes in the diaries on a Sunday morning. So we're going to try and do the same event in school, maybe without the big assembly beforehand, depends on the capacity for Donna and Paul. But we're going to do the park run event again, and we're going to choose a date just at the end of the football season, just at the end of the rugby season, and host it again. And then my model would be going forward, we do one early in September and we do another one in April every year, and it becomes a cyclical thing that at those opportunities when we can really grasp those kids and get them involved, we get them involved.
That's amazing. I think that's the most important element, is building it in consistently, building them habits for young people. It's fantastic, guys. It's been really amazing to hear all of what you spoke about and how you've engaged the school and your event. I'm sure we could talk for another half an hour, but I've one last question kind of for both of you. Would you recommend this to other schools, and why would you recommend it? Maybe start with you, Donna, first.
Oh, I'd absolutely recommend it to schools. I think it's so brilliant for the children's mental health, and that sort of the link with their sort of physical health and everything. It's a free event for schools, with everything they've got to do themselves in their curriculum now. It's there for them to do. It's free. It's really empowering for the children to take part. As we've all said, it's the fact that it's their part run, their way, whether they run, they walk, they volunteer. Every child can get something out of this. And I think that sort of relationship as well between junior parkruns and the schools is a brilliant one to have. It's great to have these connections and for it to be two-way and to think about ways we can work together in future too. Steve's already sort of invited us along to cross-country meetings and things so that we can get the parkrun word out that way as well. So certainly from our point of view, I can't recommend it enough to other events and schools.
Amazing. And then finally, kind of last word from you, Steve. Would you recommend it, and kind of why would you recommend it?
Well, I did recommend it because I was at a PE conference for all the schools in our partnership about 4 weeks ago, and I mentioned it, and the overwhelming feeling from the other 30 primary schools was, how do we get on board with this? How do we use this? How can we do it? And I think it's a no-brainer. From a school, you get a big impact for very low time and bureaucracy, and zero cost to us because of the volunteers that come in. It's just brilliant, and it's really going to have an impact on our kids and our school.
It's lovely to hear that, and then hearing about the partnership flourishing there is great as well. Thank you so much, both. It's been great to hear that. I'm going to move you guys backstage, but thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Amazing. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker. And we're really excited here to have James join us from the London Marathon events. He's going to speak to you about a really exciting opportunity for your schools. So welcome, James.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, and really great to hear Donna and Steve talking there about junior parkrun and the great impact that it's had on their schools. And equally, we hope that a number of schools will be able to get involved in the TCS Mini London Marathon in schools, which is just opened as of Monday this week. And we're sort of hoping that schools can bring the inspiration of the London Marathon to their schools. Any school across the UK can enter. Last year, we had over 600,000 pupils take part, and we've got a goal to increase that to 1 million by 2030. So we're really looking to spread the message and get as many schools as possible getting involved. The event is open for schools to take part. You can take part on any day or any days. You can do it over multiple days, whatever works for your school. And very similar to what Steve was just saying about there, it's very much about making it work for your school setting, giving yourself the opportunity to set up a little course, whether that's on your playground, on your school field, and to get the kids outside and running, jogging, walking, wheeling, doing gymnastics moves. All of the things that Steve said really resonated, because this is exactly what we're encouraging schools to do as part of this event. There's an opportunity to register for the event now, and the QR code that's on the screen on the slide here will take you to the website where you can register. You can get more information. When schools register, they get a whole toolkit of information, an event toolkit, some running bibs, certificates that every child can get. There's activity cards, there's some resources that have been put together by our charity partner, which is Joe Wicks and the Body Coach Foundation. So there's some resources that can be used in the classroom. There's an assembly pack that schools can use to promote the event and equally to engage and inspire those children to be involved. And we're very sort of proud to be working alongside the junior parkrun team to help inspire as many pupils, as many children and young people as possible to get active and to enjoy the benefits of running, of jogging, of walking, of being with their friends and being active. So we're really hopeful that as many schools as possible who are part of this parkrun primary journey can get involved in the Mini London Marathon and really give that opportunity to do an event in your school. Every school gets a trophy as well. So once you register, a trophy will make its way to you in the post. So you can really make a big thing of it. And like I said, it's any time between now and the 1st of May, which is just after the London Marathon. So there's plenty of time for schools to get involved and pick what works for your school and run this event in whatever way works for your own settings. So yeah, please do have a look at the website, scan that QR code, or go to the Mini London Marathon website. And yeah, we look forward to seeing as many schools as possible getting involved in the mini marathon in schools this year. Thanks, Steve.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, James. What an exciting opportunity for schools there. So thank you for your time and sharing a bit more information about that.
No worries. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, we've got our last and final guest. I want to introduce Alice, who's the Senior Communication Officer for Parkrun. She's going to share a bit about communication, but also about how we can best support your schools, engaging with your parents, pupils and families as well. So a warm welcome to Alice.
Thank you so much, Stephen. It's so fab to be here, whether you're watching live or you're watching on catch up. Thank you so much for joining us and for all the work that you do to support Parkrun Primary and Junior Parkrun. So yeah, a bit about me. I joined the Parkrun team in November. My background is in radio, so I used to do the news on Heart Breakfast, and I'm also a trustee for the Personal Best Foundation as well. But I came to Parkrun via a social prescription from my GP to support my mental well-being, and it's a full circle moment to be here now, and to have reached my 100th Parkrun just before Christmas as well. So yeah, really exciting to be supporting all the work that we're doing and Steve does to get the Junior Parkrun message out to schools. Thank you, Steve. Next slide whenever you're ready. Yeah, amazing. So yeah, huge thank you to everybody who's using our resources that we've built to share the word. It's really helping us grow participation, but not just for children, for families as well. And it's a great way for families to be involved all together. We know that for every 100 children who cross the finish line at Junior Parkrun, we have nearly 50 adults and grown-ups taking part as well, which is amazing because we're really working to inspire physical activity among the whole family, and you're really working hard to help us do that. So thank you so much. We know that Parkrun Primary is really helping build community connections and encouraging children to keep up that movement through the weekend as well, which is awesome to see. Thank you, Steve. I thought it would be helpful to share some of our key messaging, which you might be able to share as well. So we know that Junior Parkrun inspires children and pupils to be active. It supports children's well-being outside school hours, which I know is a big thing for schools. You know that when you see them and wave them off at the school gates, you want them to keep that movement going at the weekend. And we can hopefully help you do that. And that becoming a Parkrun Primary embeds your school into the community as well. So it's all about those community connections, which is great to see. Thank you, Steve. And thank you so much for sharing the resources. So just a reminder that they are here, all the resources that you've got, that letter home template, the different resources that Steve mentioned you can adapt and edit to work for you and your schools and your local junior parkruns as well. So yeah, just remember that they're here. But it would also be great to hear about anything that we can help you, help make for you so that you've got more resources as well to share. So do drop us a note in the comments or reach out on email as well if there's anything that we can create to help support the work that you're doing. And we've got some great examples to share of all the work that you're doing. For example, some stuff from schools and also event teams as well. So just an example of the great work that we're seeing across social media channels. We've also got an example of the certificates that you're sharing, which is amazing to see. So a reminder that you've got those Parkrun Primary certificates that you can share on your own communication channels. And please do, because we love seeing them. And as well, an example of a news article. This was built by Tapscott Learning Trust, which they shared with their community and families. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. But yeah, as I mentioned, it would be really good to hear, thank you, Steve, for the next one, about how we can better support the work that you're doing. So do leave us a comment if you can today, or drop us an email, and we will continue to add to all the resources that we are preparing and giving out to you. And one of those that I wanted to share today is a new resource which will be dropping into the shared folder that you have access to, which is very excitingly a cool video that you might be able to share in your classrooms with your students. So recently we've worked with BBC Newsround on a piece to share the magic about Junior Parkrun. And we might, if we have time, be able to bring it to you today. It's just a couple of minutes, so we'd love to share it with you.
How do you feel about running? Do you love it, or does the thought of it fill you with dread? Well, we've been speaking with one boy who enjoys running so much, he's completed over 250 park runs. It's press pack time.
Hi Newsround, I'm Harry. I'm 14 years old and I love Junior Parkrun. I've been running for 10 years now, and when the Mayor heard about my 250th Junior Parkrun, she was kind enough to visit us the next week and award my 250th wristband. But what is Junior Parkrun?
Junior Parkrun is a free 2-kilometre event which takes place every Sunday throughout the UK, Ireland and Australia.
Tell us about the average morning.
We set up the course, make sure it's all safe. We do an energetic warm-up. After that we take the juniors down to the start and then they're off.
Junior Parkrun is becoming more popular. In 2022, the number of runners was 123,000, and in 2025, the number has nearly doubled to 244,000.
I come to Junior Parkrun to exercise and to have fun. Because I like running. To challenge myself. It's good to get fresh air.
For anyone nervous about coming to Junior Parkrun, what would you say to them?
Just focus on the best part of it. Don't be scared because there's kind marshals and they welcome you. When you get hang of it, you find it good.
Young people don't just run here, they also volunteer.
We set up the course so that everybody knows where to go.
You cheer on the children and just motivate them to run. It gives children an opportunity to exercise without having to pay.
I like to volunteer because I like to support people of my own age.
I like Junior Parkrun because of how supportive everyone is. The volunteers are lovely and it's a really nice place to be on a Sunday morning. I also like improving my personal best times and going for it every week. It's a great place to come to forget all the bad things that are happening and just have a nice time with friends and everyone that comes here.
And great finish.
Well done. Thank you. Now that's 254 in the bag.
Amazing stuff. Congrats, Harry.
Such an inspiring video, and it's great to see Harry really benefiting from Junior Parkrun, and a real inspiration there. So thank you so much, Alice, for sharing that as well. We've had some great content and we've been fantastic to be able to share this with all our parkrun primary schools. We're also looking forward to seeing new partnerships over the next few months as well. So we're looking forward to hearing and seeing about all the great work happening there. And we just want to take a moment to thank you as parkrun primary schools for all the work you do to help inspire your pupils and your families. It's making a huge difference and it's helping to build these healthier and happier habits for the future as well. So thank you. I wanted to bring on our guests back to the call just to say a huge thank you to them. They've given their time and shared some great insight as well. So I'm going to add back everyone: Donna, Alice, James and Steve. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you for your time tonight as well. We will be sharing with everyone on the call and all parkrun primary schools a link to view this webinar so you can view it back, and also some resources that we spoke about on the call. Thank you again. Have a lovely evening, everyone, and we'll see you soon.